It's here, mandatory mini camp. 9 teams reporting today. You are looking at them, the Lions, the Redskins, the Bucks. We've got the Denver Broncos, the New York Giants. Saquon will be in the building. Odell in the building with his new team. He missed like 9 of 10 practices and OTAs. He was not there. Freddie Kitchens had words about it, saying he missed a lot. I cannot wait to dig into all of these storylines all week long, Shrigs.
Mandatory minicamp. You show up or you get fined. A lot of times guys want to make a point and say, I'm not going to be there. But from what it sounds like, a lot of the guys, the Odells, the Le'Veons, they're going to be in the house. And Le'Veon was in the house yesterday.
Yes, he was certainly at the media day of I don't even know what it was. It was like a fashion. I don't even know. It was a
Looked
shoot.
like it.
Pictures.
Looked like a music video.
Picture
I
day.
loved it.
They take video shoots and photos for the stadium so they can get the crowd hyped.
I feel like he has a video crew, though. They're like, he's been putting out
He's got
so
his
much
own
content. Do
team?
they come
Okay.
to New York with him?
Every
or does Adam
player
Gase
has a
stop
video
that?
crew.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Does he come to practice? I have no idea. The whole traveling band of photographers? Maybe. We'll see.
He's supposed to be there. Peter Schrager, Nate Burleson, Kyle Brett. My name's Kay. You're in New York City on Good Morning Football. It's time for the
lead block.
We're talking about the Eagles.
All right.
Let's start with them. Their camp does not start today. It kicks off on June 11th, but it won't be the first time that quarterback Carson Wentz sees the field this offseason. He's been very active. He's been participating in OTAs and looking to bounce back from knee and back injuries that kept him off the sidelines during the playoffs last year. Head coach Doug Peterson's pleased with his fourth-year quarterback's progress. Take a look.
He's strong. His lower body's strong. His arm is strong. You're seeing the things that we saw a couple years ago when he was healthy, obviously. And he's leading the offense, leading the team, and really doing a nice job out there. Getting on the same page with Deshaun and really kind of getting that rapport going. And same with Nelly. I think Nelly's another one that's really had a good offseason so far. But yeah, Carson, been real impressed with where Carson is. We were cautious early, we just wanted to make sure that he was progressing each day, and we've increased his load, and he's handled it well. Again, we're always going to be a little bit guarded, obviously with all our players, but especially him. But yeah, he's been good.
Kyle, I'm loving this. Yeah. I'm loving all these sound bites. This is a guy who had to miss the playoffs in consecutive years due to injuries. Now he's recovering nicely. Of course, there's some offensive additions as well. What does him being healthy at the beginning of June mean for the NFC East?
It means the best quarterback in the division by far is back. I mean, it's not even close. If Dak was as good as Wentz, you'd be paid already. And guys, there's a lot of talk right now about the Cowboys. They got a lot of hype. They got a lot of good players. And I feel like Carson Wentz is like my favorite gift that I don't know. There's something right now, this roster that he's walking into, too, that Howie Roseman's put together. I have to give you guys a recommendation. There's this Twitter account right now called Keanu Reeves Walking to Music. That's what it's called. Right. It's everywhere. It's blowing up. All it is Keanu Reeves walking into a room to different songs. It is laugh out loud funny. Wentz walking into practice right now and looking around, not only feeling good about himself, looking at Deshaun here and Alshon here and all these running backs, and not seeing Nick Foles behind him is the Keanu Reeves walk. Go check it out. Best quarterback in the division by far, feeling great.
What does this mean to the rest of the NFC East? This means nothing. It's not a big deal. I don't want to rain on the...
Are you taking this?
No, I'm not hot taking it. I don't want to rain on the parade of the Philadelphia Eagles fans that are excited about a healthy Carson Wentz right now, even a healthy Carson Wentz during the regular season. This is us getting excited about something we don't know is going to have a good ending. I mean, he hasn't made it into the postseason, and that right there is concerning to me. As a father, I constantly talk to my boys about battling with each other. Of course, I encourage that they're competitive, but my older son, little Nate, for a long time would just beat up on Nehemiah any chance he got, whether it's video games in the backyard playing football. And if you grew up with any type of siblings, you understand this dynamic. I remember a couple years ago, they came home from playing around the corner at a friend's house, and Nehemiah was emotional. He was mad. His tears were welling up in his eyes. And I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Oh, Nate was talking trash, and we're playing on a little hoop, and he's fouling me, and he's trying to dunk on me." And I had to talk to my son. I said, "It doesn't matter what you play like against your brother. It matters what you play like against competition when it counts." And I feel like it doesn't matter how healthy Carson Wentz looks now playing with his brothers at practice. It matters what happens when they get to December and if they get into the postseason. And if Carson Wentz is on the field or he's on the sideline. I hate to be that guy right now in the summertime, but I am such a big fan of Carson Wentz.
Gotta show me.
I can't get excited right now.
Okay.
I just think there might be a little fatigue from us at the table and in the media because last year we did all this.
That's fair.
We did all of it. We went through it all, and Mike Garafolo was at the food truck, and now Mike Garafolo's at the softball game, and Peterson loves him, and the players love. So, to Nate's point, wait and see. Like, I don't need to hear it from the coach in May and June. No, we did that last year, and then he wasn't ready for the start of the regular season. They didn't look good at the start of the regular season with Foles at quarterback, and eventually had to get their things together.
So isn't it encouraging that he's healthy right now, though? I mean,
yes,
It's encouraging.
Right,
but I think to Nate's point, let's not worry about it right now. Let's tap the brakes, because last year we were hearing the same exact stuff. I mean, I really remember last year at this time, they were the defending Super Bowl champions, and it was a lot of, don't worry, he'll be fine, he'll be fine. And then he wasn't fine, and Nick Foles had to save the day again. So I think Carson Wentz, to a man, would look at you and say, don't talk about me in May. Let's revisit this in November and December when I want to earn my skins here. Look, you mentioned Howie Roseman. That roster, they fully brought back Kelsey. They brought back Jason Peters. They added Malik Jackson, Deshaun Jackson. Like, they're going to be very good. Oh. It's going to be on Carson Wentz, not in May and June and even in September. It's going to be Carson Wentz in December who's going to get this thing done. And I'm not so sure that he's the best quarterback in the NFC East. I think Dak has a lot more skins on the wall than Carson Wentz right now.
Talk about it.
Wentz got hurt.
We're not talking about ability. You know what I mean? Wentz got hurt. You can't blame him for getting hurt.
They were 5-6 to start the season when he came in there. So that's why there's concern.
Sure.
Missing all that time affected them out the gate last season.
I don't think anybody in the NFL would say, I want Dak Prescott healthy over Carson Wentz healthy. And if Jerry Jones went that way, he would have paid Dak.
I just know that Dak Prescott looked Russell Wilson in the eye and said, let's go toe-to-toe, and was the better man standing last year.
Yeah, they had a healthy body and a healthy back and a healthy knee and a really good running game.
Kyle, that all matters. This is football.
Of course it does.
All that stuff counts.
I like Dak. I like the Cowboys. I'm just saying Wentz is more talented, and when Wentz is healthy, he's going to show it. That's what I think.
They got rid of Foles, so that tells us something about how the team feels about him, right? Like, there's no safety.
Sure.
There's no insurance policy. They think he's going to be ready to go, and it's good that we're hearing that this early in the season.
They had no choice to get rid of Foles. Like, it was time. They had to do it anyway. They handled it perfectly.
On to another quarterback recovering from injury this offseason. Panthers QB Cam Newton. Let's take a listen to head coach Ron Rivera with an update on his shoulder.
He's just going through the rehab process, and there really is no timetable. You know, he's continued to work with the trainers on the side and do whatever they ask of him. And, he'll continue to progress, and we'll see where he is, at the end of the week. I continue to feel good about him, but again, we're going to listen to what Cam has to tell us. I'll listen to what the doctors tell me and what the trainers. And again, he's going through the process of his rehab program. At some point, he's going to have to throw the football. And it just so happened that the other day he did. And as I said, somebody came in and took a picture, which we really don't appreciate people snooping on what we're doing around here.
We saw him running out the tunnel. It looked pretty awesome and happy to see that. And he was throwing again after his second shoulder surgery in 2 years. And according to our very own Tiffany Blackman, the team will wait to see how he feels at the end of this week before they decide if he will participate in mandatory minicamp, which for them kicks off next week. So, Nate, how good could this Panther squad be with a fully healthy Cam Newton? We've seen, I think, what his ceiling was in that crazy season 2015.
It's not just good. It's great because they have a running back that could easily be one of the most versatile running backs we've seen in the last decade. And having playmakers around him that are healthy, that right there is going to help. Like, even though he started so fast last year, I have to approach this the same way. And I don't want to be negative Nancy in this first segment of this hour, but I have to look at his season coming up through the same lens as I look at Carson Wentz. I'm going to get excited. I'm going to reference the 50-touchdown season, and Cam Newton took his team to the Super Bowl, and he was our MVP, and he's quarterback LeBron. Blah, 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 blah. People at home have heard this over and over from me. But I can't sit here and say I'm concerned about Carson Wentz and not say the same thing about Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. Last year, he looked great. Then all of a sudden, he was skipping balls on the ground. So as much as I want to sit here and listen to Rivera and say, well, listen, when he starts throwing, he's throwing, and Cam looks good right now, I got to wait until middle of the season for Cam Newton. Because Cam Newton is one of those guys that will will himself to play tremendously well at the beginning of the year. But if his body doesn't hold up by week 8, then once again, we're talking about Cam Newton. Hey, what's wrong? Because Cam's not going to tell us. Mm-hmm. He'll wait until the end of the season, and then he'll go get surgery and say, guys, I had this, this, and this, and I couldn't do it. I just want to see Cam make it through week 8 and still continue to ascend. If he does that, then I'll get excited and say they'll be damn good when Cam Newton is healthy.
I think Cam Newton's shoulder might be the biggest X factor in the NFC South because I know what we're getting from the Saints. I think the Falcons, Kyle, you've been big on them, are going to make a big bounce back here this year. And I think Tampa's going to be significantly better. This Carolina team is loaded, top to bottom. They are loaded on offense. They're loaded on defense. They added to the offensive line. Yesterday they added Gerald McCoy. I mean, if Cam Newton's healthy, and we've said it 3 years in a row now, if Cam Newton's healthy, watch out. And they were 6-2 last year when Cam Newton was healthy. And then things hit the skids, got hurt, and after that Pittsburgh game, they were never the same. So, to me, it's the biggest X factor. And I don't know if you guys saw all the stuff with Rivera. He was pissed yesterday. He was pissed that there was photographs taken of him throwing. That he was practicing on the side. It wasn't supposed to be for the public consumption. And someone took photos of it. It leaked online, and he had to address it. And he's like, hold off. But you know what, Ron? You can't have the guy out there if you don't think that it's going to be photographed. You've got tall skyscrapers in Charlotte. You know, if you don't want him out there, don't put him out there.
Right.
Truth of the matter is, this team will not go as far as they should if Cam Newton is not 100%. The only way to do that is to make sure you protect him in these months and make sure he's fully back.
I don't want to hear about Cam Newton in May. You know what I mean? Like,
You're right, go on.
To a man himself, Cam Newton would probably not want to be talked about in May. We saw him last year with the towel.
You're right, though.
I know. No, here's the thing, though. We all got a charge in the show when we showed that shot of Cam running with the towel over his head. And Peter said it looks like Rocky. He doesn't look like Rocky. He looks like Adonis Creed. I mean, like, there is no more pivotal player. I always struggle with that word. What is that? There is no more pivotal player in the NFL than Cam Newton. He is the number one.
Okay.
He swings more power than anybody else.
That's true.
When he's right, the Panthers could win the Super Bowl. When he's not right, they can go 3-13. There's better players. No one is more pivotal. So when I see him get healthy, that doesn't just change the Panthers. That changes the NFL. It gets me fired up.
I will say this, and you mentioned that Steelers game. I just looked up the score. They gave up 52 points to the Steelers that game. So I like that you're saying that they're loaded more on offense and defense. It's not just up to Cam. They didn't lose 7 of their last 8 games just on Cam's shoulder. They gave up game-winning drives in back-to-back games and those 52 points. Do you think that defense, that's why I didn't ask just about Cam on this question. The first question was about Wentz just being the quarterback. This was, what about the Panthers and how you're feeling about them? You're confident this defense can come to play in this division this year.
I think so. I remember they lost that tough one to Detroit.
Yeah, game-winning drive.
The whole thing.
And the Seahawks.
I am confident in the defense. And it's a good question.
I'll tell you another guy, too.
They added guys.
When it comes to health with the Panthers, Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
Big-time player when it comes to what this team can do in consistency week to week. If he's healthy, it's a big deal, too.
Kyle was mentioning how Cam's the most pivotal
Welcome to the club.
Exactly right.
One of those.
We're doing this top 16 tournament for the wide receivers.
Yep.
I have no idea where I would put Cam Newton right now on a list of top quarterbacks. Is he top 5 or is he 15 to 20? And that's what's so fascinating about
That's
this.
what I mean.
Well, we know what we're doing next week, Triggs.
Here we are.
We've got the wide receivers right now, and you like an underdog. Did he make it, though, to the 8 and the 15?
I think he will.
Ooh, it's the voting.
That's my man.
At GMFB, Antonio Brown or Odell, lots to get to here, and the voting is up to you. Dwayne Haskins, by the way, heading to minicamp today. This is the quarterback competition I am here for.
He big.
Yes, I cannot wait to see him versus Case Keenum there. Darius Geis, Adrian Peterson to break it down the NFC East and mandatory minicamp.